right. Well, we're at 7:18, calling the Affordable Housing Collaborative Committee meeting to order. We'll start with a roll call, I guess clockwise to my left.
Amy Crawford.
Brian Smith.
Dennis Haggerty.
Pete Swain.
Amin Monaco.
And Josh Port. All right, so our first item beyond that is
Mr. Chair, before we get started,
Sure thing,
all
yes.
right, I'd like to introduce Curtis Dufour. He's our new principal planner.
Oh, great.
Oh, congratulations.
Finally fully staffed,
Ah,
and Curtis is going to be taking over some of my board liaison responsibilities, including affordable housing.
gotcha.
He comes
Yeah.
to us via Pawtucket. So he's got some good experience, and he's
Awesome.
been dealing with housing issues up there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you guys should be in good hands. I'll be here for a couple minutes. You're all set on locking
I
up
should
and
be.
everything at the end.
If I need help,
So-
I'll text the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always text me, and I can walk you through it. It's not that big a deal. So
Great.
Cool.
Wow. We
Off
should
you go.
have
Yeah.
have a cake for you.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
with many thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, still welcome to hang out at Riverfire, Brian.
okay.
Awesome. Well, very good. I guess welcome, Curtis.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good to have you. And we can jump forward into minutes then. Did anybody have any thoughts on the last set of minutes? I know this time I did not. No sneaky little typos.
No little typos.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. If there are no complaints, if we could get a motion and second to approve these, that would be lovely.
So moved.
All right. Any second?
Can I second my own minutes?
Oh.
Don't look at me.
I don't know.
I don't think that would
Awesome.
be proper.
Well, we have a second
Thank
here.
you.
Honest, awesome. All in favor?
Not to be
Yes.
impolite, but if Dennis wasn't here at the last one, can he second it?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
no, that's
I think
that's fair.
I don't
So,
mean
so that
to-
means that you have to second it.
I guess. Well, in that
Okay.
case, I will second.
Or you do it. and
Yes, or you can second your own
minutes.
thing. But
Yeah.
either way,
We'll go with you.
are
Should
we
I
all
then
in favor?
abstain when you guys?
I guess you can abstain.
only
That's probably the
only
fairest.
yes,
Yes.
only for this minutes
Yeah,
section,
yeah,
just
yeah.
because you were here.
That's fine.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you for checking me, everybody. This is great. This is why it's a collaborative committee.
Yes.
Okay. Well, very good. We only ayes. I think we missed that part. Only
Right.
ayes
Yeah,
And abstain.
and abstain.
yeah.
All right. Very good. The minutes are all set for the last time. We can move forward into correspondence and public comment. I don't know if there was anything sent to us or through you to Brian or anybody.
I have no record of public comment.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like it's as empty as it looks today. So we can jump forward then into new business. The first item there is an update on the South County Coalition meeting. So I guess for those who aren't aware, this is basically a quarterly meeting between members of the Narragansett Affordable Housing Committee, our committee, and also the University of Rhode Island. And it's basically just to discuss housing related issues, like get on the same page with what is everybody trying, what is working, what is not working, problems, successes, etc. And the last meeting was, I think, a week ago today. So I was there. I think typically we just have one rep. I think that'll be you going forward, Peter.
Yep.
But yeah, there weren't any huge updates this time. Well, I guess one relatively large update. So Narragansett had basically announced that they were anticipating, through a couple of different mechanisms, getting up to $800,000 a year into their affordable housing trust, which is pretty great. So it's basically a combination of I think it was 50K annually direct funding, then a 38% of the new real estate conveyance tax, and 25% of the revenue from a new state hotel tax. So all that combined, that's about how much they're estimating it'll end up being. So there were a couple of new programs that they had basically, I guess they've been piloting, or at least to some extent looking into. That was discussed at our March meeting. And part of the money is at least envisaged to go into supporting those programs. The other thing they've been trying to do is acquire land so that they can put that into, whether that's building housing on it or, maybe it's rehabbing or whatever else. But it's still a decent chunk of change to put into all that. They mentioned a couple other RFPs they had going on. It was the idea was one on Point Judith Road, 48 apartments, and then another one that was much bigger, but it didn't get a number on Boston Neck Road. Those were the main things from Narragansett. Then from URI, they basically said that Gilbane now has control of all 3 of the new building sites that they're working on. So it's basically Grad Village, and there are 2 different sites over on Flag Road. They were expecting to open 511 beds in August of 27, and then 400 additional in fall of 28. So they say that this upcoming fall is the last fall they're anticipating forced triples. They've mentioned in the past that they want to first turn the triples into doubles, and then once they've done that and gotten all the doubles properly doubled, then they're going to actually start, basically taking people who would have otherwise been commuting or living in the community and put them into new beds. So it seems like it'll take a couple of years before we'll probably see any sort of movement in the local market, but it's still it's a step in the right direction, and it's good to see that they're building. I don't think there was anything else major, so those were the main updates from the meeting. Anybody have any questions on those pieces or about the coalition or anything like that?
Did URI make any comments about projected student enrollment?
They didn't at this meeting, but what they've said in the past is they're not looking to increase undergraduate enrollment, but they're at least open to increasing graduate enrollment. I think my perspective on this, so for first of all, graduates, I think it's in the neighborhood of 2,500, so it's like substantially smaller than the undergrad population. When they say they're open to increasing that, I don't know by how much, I don't know by when, but I know that the state of affairs, at least for people at GSO like I am, the summer research funding is not technically guaranteed, but everybody pretty much gets it, at least so far, which at least puts us in a position to be able to stay year round. I know for a lot of the, the main campus, like Kingston campus graduate students, they are not necessarily guaranteed summer funding. And so if that's the level, they might be making more like $20K a year. And that's a tough level to stay here year round. So it's probably going to be a little bit more like the academic year lease, and then the kind of the weird, sometimes good, sometimes bad symbiosis with the summer rentals and the academic year leases for the students.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they do open up a medical school.
Yes,
Oh, right.
yes, and I know they're
certainly
planning to do that.
Yeah,
so
that's going to increase enrollment by
Yes.
some amount.
Right, yeah, and I'm sure that's probably part of what they're referring to with the graduate bucket. I have no idea how big that's expected to be. I just know that it's happening. So we'll see. I've seen a couple of plans for the various campuses, actually in an unrelated thing recently, just this through the campus sustainability committee stuff. And there are some thoughts about building more graduate housing, but it's at this point those plans are, it's a campus plan, but there's no enforcement mechanism. It's kind of like the vision going forward. They're trying to fund it in 5-year increments, and hopefully they stay on the plan. And it's hard to say exactly how it'll go, but they were envisaging even building some on Bay campus. Like even they were talking about potentially a hotel on Bay campus. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but anyway, little things like
Nice
that.
spot for a hotel.
Yeah,
suppose, if they
beautiful,
can find one
beautiful.
right on the ocean.
Right. Yeah. So there are
Right.
lots of interesting little pieces like that. But I guess my point being, I think it's going to be tough to meaningfully increase graduate enrollment without addressing housing to some extent, especially because right now there is zero housing for grads, like zero dedicated housing. The only one spot was Grad Village, and that's currently getting redone. It's offline for the next couple of years. So so we'll see what they do, but I'm not anticipating it just being like, they build 900 net new beds and then it immediately goes into like a 900 person bump in grad enrollment. Like I think it should be some net benefit in terms of the town housing stock. I just don't know exactly how much.
Great.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions? Okay. Sounds like we're doing okay there. So we can move on to the second item of new business, which is a discussion on the Rhode Island Senate Bill S-2268, which is the YIGBY legislation, which Dennis had brought up to me over email. So I guess you're welcome to say a little bit about it if you want, Dennis. I just thought it would be an interesting thing to discuss in terms of how it might fit this town. Yeah.
Sure. I saw this. I attended like one meeting of the APA Legislative Committee, and at that point, the bill was like this elaborate development review scheme. It was like give churches like a base density of like 30 dwelling units per acre. I like that they've tightened it up to kind of to be basically the same as a comp permit. I think it's. I'd be curious to know how many churches are eligible based on the criteria that they're putting forward, like the tax exempt, and how many are held in ground lease for 99 years and that sort of thing. And then number two, how many churches own parcels of land that are big enough to support considerable density.
Would you mind giving a little summary of the bill as written?
So basically, it allows faith-based institutions that are tax exempt to develop a comprehensive permit application on their property, provided that it's 50% LMI. So like normal comprehensive permits are a minimum of 25. This has to be at least 50. And then it doesn't go to a public hearing. It's like an administrative officer action only, which I think is interesting. And I think that's pretty much it. There are some carve outs for like historic zoning. So we go through preliminary and then final, and they can choose the option to do master plan.
Yeah. And I had the same questions as you. Like, I don't know. Like, does anybody else here know about the churches in town? Like, how many have land that they own or at least have a long-term lease?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, so the example, the church I go
Yeah.
to has the potential to subdivide their back property into 3 lots potentially.
Okay.
And we had talked actually about doing that with Habitat as a way to also redo our parsonage. So there's a parsonage on it, and then it has 3 potential, possibly for 2 or 3 other, to subdivide into 2 or 3 other lots.
Yeah.
So what we had talked about, this was 2 or 3 years ago, was subdividing it, and then he would build duplexes on those subdivisions. So at the most, it would be probably 2
Gotcha.
duplexes, 4
Gotcha.
things. So this is not a major development.
Right.
And when I think about the churches that are in town, I don't know. So there are a couple of interesting possibilities. What does the Catholic Church own on North Road?
Yeah, I don't know.
Up by URI. That might be a fairly...
No,
It's
that's,
basically only land in the front, I would
yeah,
say.
you just
like,
got
on
the
the-
piece in the front, because the parking lot really is URI property.
Oh, it is, right, that's right, yeah. And then there is that church out on, by the property that the town owns, Watson. There's that church across the street from Watson. And I don't know what they own behind them, for instance. If they bought a plot of farmland to build that, what was it called? Church, New Harbor Church, or something, I forget.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but certainly the Baptist church, all the churches in downtown.
Oh yeah.
No way.
No, for sure, for sure.
The other one down by the Catholic Church is the Lutheran Church that sits on a fairly large.
That's what I was thinking.
Lutheran
That must be a
church.
pretty sizable piece of land.
A little bit more.
Yeah, no.
You know which
I was
one?
just trying,
Yeah.
I was just trying to picture
Picture?
the lot and what that might look like.
I don't know. I just picture it on a lot of grass. I don't really.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there might be churches that I don't know out south of town, for instance, as you go down towards Charleston and down that way. Are there any?
There's a piece, I don't know the street name, but you know where the fire station on Route 1 is? The street
yeah.
across, you go down that,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it's the first left or the second left, there's a piece of property there that the diocese owns.
Oh.
It's a decent size.
Oh,
Gotcha.
they might own property that's doesn't have a church on it. Then you're saying. It's just-
Oh, sure.
But it's
yeah.
faith-based, the
Yeah,
Latter-day
yeah,
Church,
yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a possibility.
The church that you attend, is that in town, in South Kingstown?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think like what I was wondering, right? Like, and it seems like we don't have the luck of having somebody who attends one of these churches that happens, or just knows the person who might own that property, or might be able to speak to that property through the diocese. But what I was sort of curious to know is, would they have any interest in this? Like, is this on their radar at all?
Well, it could potentially make the project we were talking about at PCL Congregational Church easier to do because it doesn't have to go through an elaborate hearing.
Sure.
And it's probably worth having that discussion with Colin. Say, Colin,
Sure.
does that help?
Yep.
So, our
Yeah.
take on it was Habitat does not get very many properties in the center of town to build houses on.
Absolutely.
And so this would really be a way
Yeah.
for us to redo the parsonage with
Yes.
Habitat's assistance
Yep.
and talent and have 4 families be able to
Yeah.
live in town. So
Yep.
maybe I'll revisit with him at the time. Well, probably the timing is not good. We're undergoing a capital campaign for renovations to the building itself.
Oh,
I don't think
geez.
we want to stack
Yeah.
those on top of it in any event. But at some point in the future, this would make it easier for us to just get the process through the bureaucracy.
Yeah, and I think if I remember right, like check me on this too, Dennis, but I think there was something in there specifically saying like part of the advantage of this is they will let you bundle in like upgrades to the religious
Yes.
facilities on
Yes,
the site.
yeah,
So,
it definitely
yeah.
did say that. Yeah.
So kind of like seems like exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I read this, when I saw this on the agenda and opened it and read it a couple days ago, I thought, this
Yeah.
has potential.
Yeah.
So if it would be something that would help us get through that, then it's beneficial. Beyond that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So I think my thoughts were, I guess, twofold. One is like, if this is not on the radar, like for example, this exact situation, right? Like if there's something that's maybe been discussed or maybe there's some level of interest and this bill is not on the radar, then it's a great thing to have on the radar because if it ever goes through at the state level, then awesome. Then you can leverage that and it could, help something happen that might otherwise be more tricky. But the other thing I was curious about is for ones where we don't know, where maybe they have land that we're looking at it as an outsider, and we think, oh man, like, maybe they could put housing there. There's
Well, for
space,
instance,
like
there's on the corner
Yeah.
of South Road
Mm.
and Curtis Corner, or Saugatucket by that point. There's a
Yep.
Baptist church,
Mhm.
and I don't know what they own.
Yeah.
As you go up South Road, maybe they own some property.
Yeah,
The church
uh-huh.
would be interested in something like that. I don't know. So it'd be interesting
Hmm.
to sort of make sure churches are aware, if this goes through, that that's a possibility.
Right,
do we do
absolutely.
that? How do we get word out there to churches?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, so it might just be something like, I mean, maybe in your case, because there's already something you're aware of, like bringing that up to Colin, I think would be lovely. But I think beyond that, yeah, if we just keep an eye on this and if we see it does move forward, then just making sure that the places in town that could potentially use it are aware, I think would be great. It might be a question for a future meeting, but the only other thing I was wondering is, let's say hypothetically Bill just completely dies in committee and we hear no whiff of it again for a while. Like, is it worth sort of, polling around and checking these places in town, see if anybody, if this were in law, would they use it? Because we have at least a draft bill. I know, like, it might be a little ambitious to try to get the town to make a regulatory change, but it feels like this sort of thing is a lot more politically palatable than a lot of other housing related bills, because it's a way that churches can improve, or just other faith-based organizations can improve their own operations while simultaneously providing a service that they are known for wanting to provide. And so it seems like it could be something that would be a win while also providing housing. And so I don't know, like I'm dreaming of the rosy future where two of them say, oh, we would totally
It
look
looks
at that
like
if
the
we could.
Senate passed Sub A as amended on May 27th, and then went back to the House committee. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's still there or
But still,
they're
like,
done. They're done for this year, though.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the
So
issue.
maybe next year.
they have to
I
get
was-
reproposed, correct?
Yeah.
Is that how it
Yes,
goes?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Do
will.
they say
I
who's
mean,
the sponsors?
oh, it's a good.
It's Megan Coleman, Jacob Basilian, Alana DeMario, Victoria Gu, Tiara Mack, Louis De Palma, Gordon Rogers, Mark McKenney, and Samuel Zurier.
covers a good amount of
Yeah, it
area.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, and my guess, Josh, is that we may not be the most influential voice. My guess is that there are a couple of churches,
Mm.
right, who are pushing for this,
Mhm.
and so we might be able to sort of follow their lead as they, rather than try to create something of our own, which is, we might be able to throw our support behind
Yeah.
someone. Might be a little bit easier. So
Mm-hmm.
they will reconvene now in January, right? I mean, we have to wait all the way until January, but
And
it
then
might
the
be
Senate
something,
has to be reproposed in the
Yeah.
Senate.
even in
Yep,
the Senate,
yep,
right?
yep.
And then hope for the House. I mean, it is.
Right. Right. It's still,
It's a
they just
process.
hold things, pardon me, they hold things in committee for so long.
Yep.
And the good thing about that is that we know they hold it for a long time, and it doesn't mean it's not going to go through.
True.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
It just like that's the natural course of
Right.
things. It takes,
Yeah. Could be next year.
So-
Could be 20 years. Could
Right.
be never. You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
so it might be something to sort of just make a note that
Yeah.
come
Oh, yeah, that's right.
January that
Yeah.
we remember to follow. We remember to follow it.
I like that.
Um,
Yeah. I do have a couple of long-term things that I've been trying not to die. I've been moving them through my notes, so I can add a note. To
Add
do
another.
That. Yes.
But this is the way I read it. If you read the very bottom of the act.
Mm.
It's not just housing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the act
Say more.
would also allow faith-based organizations to request adjustments for the uses that support the mission of the
Right,
faith-based organization, including childcare,
Mm-hmm.
education, community service, or small-scale commercial use.
Right. Right.
In
Yeah.
order to support the housing, was that what that started with, or not necessarily
Just the mission of the church.
of the church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's their little bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think one way or another, I get like it seems like a likely popular thing. So yeah, I think it'll be a good thing to pay attention to. I'm gonna do my best to not let this fall off the agenda. But again, I'm probably there's only so long I'm gonna be here, so let's not let this die. Everybody keep an eye on this for sure.
Great.
Okay, any other thoughts on Yigby, or should we move around to old business?
Old business it is.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so we'll go to E1, which is a discussion on future public outreach opportunities. So this, I think, is probably, maybe it'll be more delegation and less work, but it's the biggest chunk of things that I think we definitely want to get done today, which is, so we have these 4 dates coming up for River Fire,
Yeah.
which is at least the main piece of outreach that we have sort of in the front burner. And so we want to make sure we know who is going to be attending these different meetings or different instances of River Fire, and also that we have our materials sort of set up so we know who's prepping what, who's going to bring what, and by when. So I guess maybe we can, I'll just explain this for you, Dennis. So we've done this in the past. Basically, are you aware of River Fire in town? Yeah, baby water fire. Yeah. So we're basically in the past we've done this one time where we set up a booth. It was just I think two or three of us who were there for a few hours, and the idea was just to sort of engage with the public and hear what concerns they have and tell them a little bit about what's going on in town, and a little bit at the time even to advertise an open spot on the committee, which we can sort of preemptively potentially even do now. But yeah, so it was nice at the time. We were a little bit off the beaten path, so it was like maybe a little bit lower traffic than we were hoping, but it was still like a good way to get out there in the community. And so this time I guess we've gone a little bigger in the sense that we've confirmed that we have at least 2 members who are going to be available for 4 dates. So it's basically every 2 weeks. I think there are 3 in July, 1 in August, or is it 2 and 2?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Okay, so 2 in July and 1 and 2 in August. And yeah, so it's not, I know you being new to the committee, it's not like a final exam. It's not meant to be high stress. It's like it's as much like listening to people as anything, and just like hearing what they want to see happen and what their frustrations are and all that. And of course, we're also going to try to have some materials as well. So if they're looking for information, then we can give them that. So I think. Just to start, to make sure we do this, can we figure out who is going to go to which of these?
What are the dates then? They're the July
July 10,
10.
24,
Yeah.
August 14th, and August 28th.
Is it
They're all
14?
Fridays.
I had 7. Is
Oh,
it
did I?
14?
Well, let me check.
I just copied the text of the email, so
well,
I don't
then-
know if
Then
the email is.
then you're probably, because when I said, because I sent that, I believe I sent that to Brian, so I would have done it.
Yeah, the minutes, we have it as August 7th and then August 21st.
My apologies.
Okay.
Are these all Fridays or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the intent is to have 2 people at each one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did you have lined up so far? Was that in the minutes from last?
Yeah, so I don't know if we wrote
Oh,
it down
yeah,
at that
I
level
see
of
it.
detail, but we confirmed of the people who were here, we had at least 2 who could potentially show up at each date. And like at the time, I think we only had 4 at our last meeting. So we figured if we can do it with these 4, you know, through the whole committee, we should definitely be able to find 2. And I think given that there are 4 of them, I think it would be good to split it up like a good amount. Like ideally, if we could get everybody to go to 1 and then maybe have 1 person go to 2, like that would be great. And that way it's like not a particularly heavy lift, but it's, you know, it's still, you know, we're still getting out there.
Yep.
So I guess I can think of a few ways to do this. If any, I think the easiest thing maybe is if anybody is really like constrained, like you can only make 1, maybe we'll start with that. Other than that, I could also even just make like a little when to meet style thing, send it out, like, or at least I guess I'd have to go through Curtis, but to send it out to the group. And then based on the responses, we could just come up with, okay, here's a way to get 2 at each one, and I'll try to just make it as even as possible. So I guess anybody have any real constraints? Like you could maybe do 1, but not more than 1.
Remind me of the dates.
It's the July 10, July 24, August 7, August 21. And you're busy Fridays, right, Brian?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it won't be Brian, but I guess for the rest of the 6 of us, hopefully we can find it.
The only one that doesn't work is the August 7th. The
Okay.
rest should be fine.
Okay. Cool. And you were free for a couple, right?
I'm free for 3.
Yeah.
I'm only not free for July 10th.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and I think I was, the 24th is going to be questionable, and the 7th
right.
I should be on a boat. So
Okay.
the other 2 I could probably do. So I think what I'll do is I'll just take this as a follow-up. I will put together a little like when to meet poll, and based on the responses of that, I'll make sure that we have 2 names for each thing. And so then all we have to do, well, let me make a quick note to do that.
May I make another suggestion?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because sometimes it's hard for people to get back in the emails. I'm sort of wondering if all of us who are here were to get our names down there and then
See if we can find like plug 1 or 2 holes.
Yeah.
exactly ask
I'm okay with that.
Susan, ask Susan
I'm
and
okay with
ask
that.
Nick,
Yeah.
are there any of these
Yeah.
dates that they could do and free
Okay.
somebody else up?
All
Just
right.
a thought.
Yeah, no, it works for me.
You sure?
It's
Okay.
yeah, totally good.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So in that case,
Why don't I do you want me to keep track of who can do, like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can do
Let's-
3, so
how
I'll
about
put
you
my
make,
name down.
you want to
on
make a
3.
little grid, and we'll
Yeah,
just check.
No, I don't want to make a grid. I'm going to make my own thing.
You can do it in color
Just
too.
have the
Make it
scientist.
You can do it in color. Green is go, red is stop, yellow is maybe.
So right now, it looks like we have August 21st. You 2 are both available.
Mm-hmm.
When was what day could you not make?
7th.
The 7th?
I can't do July 24th. I'll be at the folk festival
Nice.
that Friday.
So we have July 10th and we have August 21st, and we should have July 24th actually. So
All right, so give me what those is. So those
right
are.
now,
so-
July 10th, we have Josh and Dennis. July 24th, we have you and Dennis. August 7th, we just have you right now.
I'll do the other one then,
The 7th?
of August.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right now, we tentatively have all the days covered with 2 people.
Okay.
But then,
What was it? 21st.
but Dennis is doing 3.
He doesn't have to. He could skip the 21st. Right now, the 21st, we have you,
I think we
Josh,
should
and
make
Dennis.
it so no one does more than 2.
For sure. Yeah. So I think maybe so we could, I guess for now, cross Dennis off for the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if possible, we could see for any of the ones where people are sort of doubled, we could just see
Yep.
for the for the other 2 if they could do even 1, and
Right.
then that way it just sort of spreads it out.
So you have me for the 2 July dates.
Right now,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Everybody got them. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was doing the same thing you were about to do. That's why I'm like,
Yeah, might as well just get it
not
done.
have you write it all out.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, that's good.
Because I missed the last meeting or the last forever meetings, but
Yes.
is there some sort of flyer that we're bringing
Yeah,
to the
we'll,
meeting?
we'll talk
Okay.
about that. So there are a few different things we had thought about. I'll have to pull up my notes from last time, but some of the examples was like some sort of a flashy, like, easy to read from a distance poster. Like Brian had suggested, like, when are your kids moving out of your basement? Like something like that to draw people into the booth and have them, like, come engage, right? So we could have some sort of a sign like that. We have a couple of other pieces of factoids like that might just be interesting for people to browse while they're there. Like we've in the past printed out the relevant pages from the housing fact book from RI Housing, and the other things, like we had a couple of different little did you know cards, and I did my best to update those, so those are now like they're kind of usable now. They had some very strange typos and like weird gremlins in them, but I think they're in better shape now. So I could think like maybe we have, like last time we had the little, it was basically like an easel, and we had hung up the poster on top of that. We could maybe tack these on in corners and whatever. I like the idea of some sort of a jar for people to like fill out thoughts and submit feedback in that way. But yeah, there were probably a couple other things that I'll have to pull them in the notes from last month as well. But those sorts of ideas.
And there are a few things in the minutes.
Yeah. Let's go through that.
That we've got sort of written down.
Mm-hmm.
So materials relating to distinctions between affordable and low income. We thought that was an important understanding for people to have. The feedback jar. And I'm just thinking what might be good for that feedback jar is like have a few different questions already posed. Like, have you heard about what's going on at Old Tower Hill Road? And like some prompts. That's what I mean. With prompts for another thing we talked about was what is the town character of the town mean? That would probably be another thing that people could fill in.
As a prompt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as a prompt. I'm just gonna write that down for myself. And then we talked about some of the technical. That's not the right word. But like QR codes. We talked about
I have a list for
getting
that.
a QR code.
We can talk about that
with some links to information about South Kingstown housing, not related to the Affordable Housing Committee, but just in general, not an official website.
Yep.
Phrasing and materials, yes, like you just said. When are your kids moving out of the basement? The need for information on how to engage with legislative processes in town. That would be more of the website stuff, I would say, huh?
Oh yeah. I do have a list, and I can read those as well about stuff that we mentioned for
Good.
possibly throwing on that like one-stop shop.
Yep.
Here's what I had for the
Yeah.
QR code. So basically a link to our website, a link to information about basically the town council and planning board. What do they do? When do they meet? Like, how are they relevant for the whole process? How do people get it? How do people get involved and have their voice heard? Like things like you can show up and give public comment, things like that. Then information about basically action happening at the state level, like how you could look up like what housing bills are being proposed, like the YIGBY bill and such. A link to the housing fact book, latest one if possible. A link to the contact form, like on the town website, as another way to submit feedback. If there's any relevant local information, like news or anything else that's happening. We have information about ADUs, the difference between inclusionary zoning and comprehensive permit, a couple more wonky things like that. What is a form-based code, and like those sorts of things. But yeah, I think that is its, at least the the nice thing about it is it's not like something physical. It's like provided we have this information online, QR code, we're good. It's not something we need to like print out and figure out how to put up on a board. Like you just tape it to the table and life's good. So there are a few things on the list. What I'm going to propose is that we try to delegate some of these out, and like based on what people want to attack, we can have people do a certain piece and then just try to have it all prepared by a certain day. I'm thinking most of it is stuff that can be done pretty well digitally. The one exception might be like having a physical poster to write something on, but most of it is stuff that anybody could potentially print, like something like that. Like if let's say, somebody who's doing the last meeting wanted to still prep something in time for the first meeting, I don't think it would need to be like a whole game of, handing everything off to everybody. I think as long as it's been sent out, then we should be okay. So let's make sure that we have a final list of the things. So we have basically this poster with a hook. And I think you could add on to that as well a couple of those little, did you know cards, little factoid cards. Maybe they go on the poster, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep that separate. So the poster with the hook, did you know cards, housing fact book pages, and these can just be for the table. Then we have the feedback jar, and with a couple of prompts, and basically a scannable QR code that has information as discussed. So I guess we have 5 of us here. We have 5 things. Does it work for everybody if we have everybody take one of these? And the one thing I'll say, and what I was going to suggest, because some of them seem lighter, some of them seem heavier, I would be totally happy to make a stab at the QR code thing, getting that all together. I think it might be a little bit more to do. I would love, though, if somebody could basically make sure it's working. Like I set it up, like try it on a couple devices, make sure you can access it, it's not giving problems, and that everything that we want to have there is there. Like there's nothing that you're looking at and it's like, oh, didn't we talk about this? Or wasn't this in the minutes?
I thought
or
Nick said he was going to do that.
Yeah, Nick's, so I don't know. I would love to delegate to Nick, but Nick isn't here. So
I think he volunteered to do it.
Why don't you communicate with him?
I can talk to him and see if he's willing to help out with that.
Yeah.
So the thing that he had mentioned is basically setting up a page on Linktree that he had done before and knows how to do that. I think it's going to probably be pretty easy to just set up a basic landing page, and anytime you have the URL, like then you can make a QR code to it. That's fine. It's just like finding a place to dump everything, and I don't think it'll be too crazy. If he's able to help, that would be great. I think the like 90%, 95% of the task is going to be just getting the information together in a format that is close to what you want it to show up as on that page.
Does the QR code cost money?
No, the code itself shouldn't cost money. Like where the website is could put, like depending on how you're doing it, maybe it costs money to put up a little page. But
I think sometimes there's time limits on it. Like it expires.
Oh, okay.
Like if you get it for free, it expires after like
I
30
think that
days
is
or
true.
something.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
But I think that we're talking about what, 5 weeks.
Right. And it would be lovely to have something more durable, but we can also think about that later. I think again the greater task is can we compile the information and have it available for people, and then once it's there, I don't think it'll be that much of a hurdle to have something a little bit more durable, even if it's just linked out from our own page. Like even if it's we just have one hyperlink on the town website that links out to the affordable housing's, Dropbox or whatever. Like I know we've talked in the past about having it be like, we wanted to have it be a little bit separate so we don't need to like okay everything about what's posted on the town website. But as part of going through some of the things for this meeting, I also noticed, so we have a bunch of like random links at the bottom there with information about like financial literacy and things, which, it's not like an official Town of South Kingstown message. It's just like, this is information that would be interesting to somebody who's interested in affordable housing. And so it seems like there's at least some leeway to be able to provide information to people. I don't know. This might be like I don't know if this is something you happen to know, Curtis, but like we might just need to check with the town and make sure that they're okay with it. But
Yeah, we can reach out to IT and just see how to get those links approved.
that would be awesome.
Great.
Yeah, and we again once we have like a set of the information, we could provide exactly what it is, and provided like it all seems not scary and the town's satisfied, it's just informational, it's not taking like political stances or whatever. Then I think it's probably okay based on what's already up there. But anyway, I think so I think that's a fair suggestion. So I'm happy to give a draft at pulling together that information. I can try to work with Nick on it as well. If he's able to help, then great. If not, it's not the end of the world. I might just pull one person and say, could you please just test this on your own device?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
certainly happy to do that.
Okay.
And the other 4 tasks were
Yeah, so it was,
the question jar or comment jar.
the comment jar, there was basically getting a poster together. So I think that would probably include if we need to borrow something from, I know in the past we borrowed, I think it was like the town's like little easel or something. Like whether it's that or bring something from your own house, just like sort out how to get a poster plus easel to the place. And hopefully something that's not going to blow away in the wind, which was our problem last time. It was constantly
Forgot
blowing,
that.
and we're just like trying to hold it
So
down.
it needs
and,
clips.
like probably clips and something that hopefully is not incredibly light.
Yeah, I have a heavy duty easel actually.
Okay. So that I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
this is your dream task.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay.
there was that. There was putting together like a feedback jar. So it'd be come up with some sort of a jar, write out a couple of prompts, and have basically pens and materials for people to.
I can
put
help
in the
with
jar.
that if you want.
Okay.
I just
Awesome.
need a reminder what the prompts are.
Oh, sure. Yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna take a couple of notes. Okay. So Dennis will do that. Amy will do the poster.
So a couple of things that we talked about. Is this okay?
Yeah. No,
A couple
you're
of
allowed to
things
speak.
Well, no, I didn't want to interrupt you if you.
Yes. No, you're good. You're good. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So a couple of things that we mentioned were, do you know what's happening on Old Tower Hill Road, or like in the Shaw's Plaza? No, because it's not just that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tricky as to what. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
How do you
I
get
think-
people to know?
Yeah, I would say one of the things, if we refer to it by its name, we'll find out whether people know about
That's
it
true.
or not, and what
True.
kind of outreach we need to do around
Yeah.
it.
True.
Yeah.
So,
Did you hear Did you hear what's going on? What the new plans are for Old Tower Hill Road?
Yeah, I don't think it has to be much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
As a
True.
plan.
Yep.
And
We don't want to say form-based code specifically. We just want to say
Yeah, don't use
You'd have to
form-based code,
explain
'cause
that.
that's gonna throw everyone off. They
Yeah.
have no idea what they're talking about.
Fair.
Actually, and I'm kind of mixing it up because that's more of a did you know? Like Old Tower Hill Road, do we want to say what do you think about what's going on Old Tower Hill Road?
Yeah.
And form-based code?
yeah,
do you have any thoughts on Old Tower Hill Road form-based code? And then-
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So are we thinking that this would make more sense as part of this jar or as part of the poster?
We might be able to do both.
Because we could do it either
Well,
way.
you know, the
It's
poster,
just,
but also serve as prompts for the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
like,
thinking that.
give them a couple little things, and then also a feedback. Write your own.
Yeah.
I assume this should be like a half sheet so they can fold
Yeah.
it easily and put it in
Yeah.
a jar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even just like something smaller, like even if it's just like think like little sheets of notebook paper they can tear off, or sticky notes or something, like just something that seems like it will. You have it, and that you can write at least more than like 3
Maybe
words.
index card size?
Like an
Maybe that
index
might be
card
good
I think would
size.
be fine too. Yeah, like
make it
And if
good.
you have his notebook pages, do notebook pages.
Right.
Like awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing we talked about is what do you think? What do you think about when we say South Kingstown character or something to that effect?
Yep.
What other things about that would go in that?
Well, the key findings from the RIPAC, what's the state picture? How much money has the state been putting out for affordable housing?
Yep.
And Brian has sent that out to everyone, but I can
Yep.
send it to you again, just the bullets.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
How many units they actually built, how much money is the
Right.
state providing,
Yep. Yeah, I thought.
some details.
Right,
So
right.
if somebody says, well, what's really happening?
Right.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like, here's what I'm wondering. So maybe that can be, you know, like one of the things I had on the list was in the past we had the housing factbook pages. Maybe we can put that together with that, like pull out some key takeaways from RIPEC, pull out some key takeaways from the housing factbook, print out a couple sheets, and just have some information there for people. Like, I think that could be good. And yeah, and we could ask people to react to information on
Yeah.
the table. Like that's also totally fine.
We could also, I mean, we could ask them questions like, what do you think is the best way to create affordable?
There we go.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
a good one.
In the South
Yep.
Kingston community.
Yep.
Right.
Or, I mean, even go one step level above that. Is affordable housing an important goal for the South Kingston?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
And
Yeah.
and if so, what's the best way to create it? I mean,
Right.
that might be the question.
Yeah.
The prompting questions.
Yeah.
That could be a two-part question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Additional housing,
Right.
and how much of it should be affordable housing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even in today's paper, it brought up the water issue
Yeah.
with the aquifers.
Yeah.
We're in a drought again,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
severe drought,
Yeah.
and the water company is saying that we have the capacity, it's overusage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the water company's position.
Is that right?
Yep. They said we're not gonna build anymore.
Wow.
They're not going to build any more what?
Wells or.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
how-
Like as in the water capacity is maxed.
So
Yeah.
they're really saying people are watering their lawns too often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Washing their cars too often.
Yeah.
Right.
All of those things that use a lot of water
Right.
in particular.
Sounds like we should make nice dense housing so that everybody uses less water per
Wow.
person. It sounds
That's-
lovely.
Yep.
Anyway.
Because you do have high usage, like in restaurants, use a lot of water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agriculture uses a lot of water.
Yes. Oh yes.
So they're like off limits.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Can't go into a restaurant and say you can't
Right.
use all that water.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta
It's
wash the
tough.
dishes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so it's hard to manage that.
It is. Yep. Indeed. Okay.
All right. What were the other two tasks?
Yeah, what do we have? So we had poster, feedback jar, scannable QR codes, then basically the combination of information. Honestly, it could, the other one I had written individually was those did you know cards, but I think it might just be maybe we have two people work on just information for the table. We can split it up however it works. But I think of course, because I'm going to try to pull in Nick for QR code stuff. Like if Sue is available for information, then I think that's also totally valid. Like whatever people we can rouse. I know that, so I have some of the information, and I can send this. Like if for example you both want to do some work on this, I can send over some information that we'd put together for our January 2024 meeting with the council, where it had those 4 did you know cards, I think 3 of which are up to date, and one of which I was waiting for this agenda with the hope that we would get information about the rental registry that would allow me to do a better job at that. If not, I can provide information that can allow us to sort of smooth over it. But anyway, I can provide that information. It also had one of the figures, like for example, showing basically the amount of salary you would need in order to affordably rent and affordably own compared to the different like example professions. So like showing nurse or firefighter or whatever, and you see that everybody is below, and then it's like the cheeky town planner line, and it's also below.
Right.
So like all that, like I can share that. Hopefully that's just some stuff like that could possibly be of interest to the public. I don't necessarily need, like, I don't think we necessarily need to make a prescriptive list at this moment. Like if there's just stuff that seems like
Right.
if I were a passerby, this would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like by all means bring.
Well,
But-
I would think that, I would think that people would want to know questions about what's happening with the 2 schools, for instance.
Yeah,
I think
that's
we
it.
just need
Oh,
the
of
most important
course.
information about
I
it.
like
Right.
that.
That's going to be a burning question.
Yeah. So
Right.
that actually
As well as the Tower Hill Road project. For anyone who's kind of in touch with this,
That
they're
could
gonna want
be-
updates, I
Yeah, where do we want to put that?
That could be a good way to break things up. Like you could have maybe one person work on just trying to, even just like a one pager on like what is going on in the town.
Right.
Like, you know, you can hit the schools, you can hit Old Tower Hill Road, maybe a couple of the bigger key projects. Like I know, like even just bigger comp permits or just like actual affordable
Right.
projects that might be of interest to people, then that would be awesome. And then maybe that can be one thing because that's a little bit more of a like actually creative task in the sense of like you're pulling together content from different places, whereas the other maybe it's a little bit more of let's just like grab materials, like because we have this RIPEC report with conclusions, we have this RI housing fact book that has very good visualizations and interesting info. We could use these did you know cards as is. Maybe one of them needs tweaks, I don't know, but yeah, I guess through all of this, is this something that that you, Peter, and you, Brian, could take on? Like, and maybe we can discuss now. Like, if there's something that you know, one of you feels better making a little summary, one of you feels better pulling together some links.
I'll
you can put
create
together
an
an update.
of
Okay.
The current key projects, and also I'll talk to. I mean, I can talk to you or to Brian about what's happening with large
Yeah.
development plans at this point.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. And then I guess yeah, so for the other piece, there's I think it would be mostly just trying to finalize those did you know cards, which are almost there, pull together the key pages from the housing fact book and conclusions from that RIPEC report. And we can have those all there as you know, just sheets, like, you know, tape them down to the table or whatever else. And you know, I think you probably wouldn't even need to print them out. It would be honestly just find them and get them in one place, make sure that we have links or actually like the documents there to reference.
We need tape for the table.
Yeah, and also we should talk about the physical table. Do you have a table?
Oh, we used Megan's last time.
It was Megan's table. Okay, so that's another piece to figure out.
Yep.
I can get a table from our church.
You can get, okay, awesome,
Thank you.
cool.
Table, Peter, we need tape and ASIS.
So that's going to go back and forth 4 times. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other piece. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
That's okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, if they're not good with it, we can figure something else out probably. But yeah, if they are, then great.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not have a random table lying around, but it would be pretty surprising to me if on a 7-person committee we don't have one person with like one of those folding tables. That would.
I have a card table, but I think we want something a little bigger.
I
than that.
may have a 6-foot table. I'm not sure. I will look. 6 foot would be ideal. 8 foot is hard, is big.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
fit as many places.
I think like if
Peter, I don't know what they
if
have.
two people can sit around it, then I think
Right.
we're in good shape. Like
Right.
whether it's a lot bigger or a little bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's other than that, just can it fit in a vehicle or can it be
Right.
easily carried?
Right,
Like one
can
or
we
the
get
other.
it there?
Yeah.
8 feet would be difficult,
Yeah.
Yes,
probably a
8
little
feet is
big.
going to be difficult,
unless you
right?
tie it to your roof.
Yeah. Jeez. It'd be very difficult on a bike. But yeah.
I've seen that happen. Maybe
Yeah.
not that big a table, but I've seen some people moving stuff on a bike. Guy with
Absolutely.
a surfboard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The
Oh,
guy with a
nice.
surfboard went zipping by.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Make a special
that's gotta be.
attachment.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta up my game. Clearly, that's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Great. So, I guess do we all feel okay about this? Do you feel like you have enough to grab onto, Brian, for like pulling together a couple of those different documents? You know what I'm talking about with all those, or should we talk more?
Nope.
You feel good?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
And are we going to bring all of our information to Curtis, and then Curtis can distribute it to all of us so we all know what the other is doing?
So there are a few ways we could do this. So I'm thinking, of course, we want to have this ready by the first meeting or the first river fire, right? So that's July 10.
Not so
and
far
that's a
away, is
Friday. No, yeah, it's not too far away. I think what I would propose, so it looks like, hang on, let me get the calendar up. So, yeah, I don't want to cut it too close, but what about we say, by the 7th maybe? Like that way we have another day of breath after the, holiday weekend, and like it's a Tuesday evening. So if we could all get our pieces done by then, that would be awesome. And then, yeah, I guess the question remains, how, because we're gonna have to print some of this stuff, so we're gonna have to somehow pull this together. I do not have a printer. I know in the past Brian's offered to print some stuff here, but I don't know how accessible that is. I don't know. Does anybody have a printer? If not, do you know if printing is possible here?
I mean, I'm sure we can do something. I just don't know the limits of it.
Okay.
I'd probably ask Jamie. I don't know. Tracy's like our resident kind of
Yeah.
plotter person.
I
so-
gotcha. Yeah, I don't think it would be a lot. Like we're probably talking like
last
a
time
handful
they,
of sheets.
They
Like
did. I forget who.
it was like a
who
bigger
did.
map the
It
last
was
time, right?
It
Yeah.
was. We
Yeah.
had
we
a
have a
good
plotter,
size.
so I'm sure Tracy can probably print something, print a couple poster maps, whatever we need.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna commit to it though.
Right. No, that's fair. And
Because
this. Okay, so
I'm
we
the
can.
new guy.
No, fair. Okay, so
Then you might end up doing it.
Right.
I think would you be able to at least just check if it would be possible to print a handful of sheets by the 7th? And
Oh, yeah,
and if
for
you
sure.
can't, then that's fine. Like we can make a plan B.
No, I'm sure we can do that.
So I'm sending this to Curtis first. And
Yes,
kind of-
and that's the
Yes.
other way. So whenever there's always this worry about this like rolling quorum, if like you send it to me and then I send it to Amy and Amy sends it to Brian and then you end up with the sort of email quorum thing, and not what we're looking to do, because Open Meetings Act does not like that. So the way that we've always done it with Brian, and what I would assume we're going to continue doing with Curtis, is to basically send all communication that needs to go out to everybody through Curtis. And then Curtis can bomb us all, and that way we're never directly talking to each other. It's just like, we're all interfacing with the one intermediary, and then it's just information for everybody.
In general, there are times that we do, like if we've got a project that up to 3 of us need to work on, we can get together and do that. But as far as the email communications, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's not that we can't ever talk about business together,
Yeah.
but we have to be careful.
Yes.
And does this need letterhead, or is it?
I don't think it needs to be that formal. Yeah, no. Like, it's as long as it's legible. Like, if somebody who's walking up to a table could read it, that's fine. Yeah, life's good. Okay, but yeah. So I think we can make this our tentative plan. Like for those of us who have actual like documents and things that need printing out, we can try to get this over to Curtis by the 7th, and Curtis will let us know if we need to make a plan B,
Yeah.
if that won't work. And then from there, I think the only thing we'll need to make sure is that one of the people at the first meeting, which is me, and who else is at the first one?
Dennis.
You're at the first one? Okay, so one of us will then need to come by here to grab the stuff, but it's also very close to where River Fire is, so it shouldn't be too bad. It would just be like, swing by here and grab a couple of the papers, and we'll set up the table and whatever.
Important question. What time?
Yes. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
early
when
what do
did
we
they
say?
tell us?
It's later this time.
It was, I honestly forgot
You
off the top of my
just
head.
say.
Good question.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'll try to look it up online too, in case it's not
I don't know
written
what
down.
time water fire. River
Yeah,
fire.
River.
Yeah, I'm
Fire.
looking it up.
I want to say it's 5 to 8,
Ugh, classic.
but I'm making that up.
River Fire. It says the fire lighting starts at 6:30, so surely before that. Have you found the email, or should I try to grab that? Alright, I'll try to look. Hold on.
It's not working very quickly.
Alright.
Real slow. What's going on there?
Yep. Mine is going quite slow too. We're all looking it up at the same time, and the internet doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, oh, here we go. River Fire
You getting it?
information. Hopefully it has a time in this.
Oh, I'm offline. It kicked me off.
Oh boy.
That's weird.
Okay. Well, the information from Brian didn't have a
Sorry.
time. It just said Friday evenings. Yeah. Did when you originally reached out, did they tell you, or?
I definitely had a time, yes.
Okay, so it's somewhere in there.
I'm pretty sure it's 4 by. I don't know why I got
4?
kicked out here.
Wow,
4.
okay.
No, it's a 5 to 8.
Oh, 5 to
My
okay.
apologies, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, 5 to 8. That sounds good.
I'll double check it before we finish up.
Okay. So I'm just gonna make a note. So, yeah, me or Dennis, or Dennis or I, we'll do grammar. We'll need to pick up printed materials.
It might be tough for me because I'll be coming from work. But
Oh, sure.
if you need me to, I can
Yeah,
move it
no,
around and make it work.
That's totally fine. I should be able to come down and grab it, so that's no big deal. I can plan to do it. So I will need to pick up the printed materials from town hall. The only other thing we'll need to figure out is with the table for the first meeting. Which ones are you doing again? At least so far?
August 7th.
7. Okay. So for the first 2, then we'll need to figure out somehow. How
Oh,
to
I can
like-
get it there. I think,
Okay.
well, no, the 24th I won't be around.
Okay.
Because I'll be at the festival.
And it might be that Amy will have a table too.
Yeah,
So
let's
Right.
have to figure that out.
okay, so we can leave this as TBD for now, I guess.
Certainly on the 7th I can have it, and then we'll have to.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else will have to go to the church and pick it up or something if I just let
Okay.
the church know someone's going to be coming. Okay.
Awesome. So I guess this will be Plan A for the
5 to 9.
7th or for the 10th. I mean, if 5. Oh, it's 5 to 9. 5 to 9. Okay.
5 to 9.
I don't want to stay till 9.
I mean, it's probably 5 until there is not that many people left. I'm
That's
sure
a
that's
good
how it
point.
will be.
So we should bring bug spray
That's a good
Oh, that's
idea.
a good idea.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
chairs.
Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's another question. Yeah, two chairs or stools or something. Trying to think. Yeah.
Well, stools would be perfect because they'd be a little bit higher too. Huh?
Yeah, and easier to carry maybe. But anybody have obvious chairs or stools that would make
We have I have folding chairs
folding chairs?
at home, yeah.
Okay.
Happy
I
to
have
bring-
like soccer type chairs, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That camp
That would also work. Yeah. I think so.
So bring
I
your
love
own
it.
chair.
So we have our I know, right?
people could bring their own chair.
Yeah, you gotta find something. I'll sit on my bike. It'll be fine. But I think, yeah. What was I thinking? So how about this? If depending on what we do with the table, if it ends up being your table, so it already needs to come from you, maybe you could bring 2 soccer chairs.
Absolutely.
And if it's going to be the church's table, maybe you could throw in 2 folding chairs. Like maybe we could do it like that, and that way, if it's going to be one trip, at least it'll be like we'll get all the stuff.
I'll put together a list of things to remember for the night that you're on.
Yeah.
Okay. So the things we need to find.
Yes,
You know,
and we can always check in beforehand, make sure like it's a couple days before. Can everybody still do this, right? Because we're gonna have to also do things like we go for the first meeting, then we have these printed materials that we're gonna need to somehow get in the hands of
Yeah.
whoever's doing the next
Right.
one. Although
Right.
we might even have you're doing also the 24th, right? So so at least for the first time, you could just take the materials back and bring them the next time. Then we'll just need to do some sort of exchange between the 24th and the 7th. But there'll be little.
Well-
things
Is there a
like that.
meeting in between that time that?
Yeah, so that's another thing we should discuss. So in the past, what we've done is, I think last time we actually used Riverfire as our noticed meeting, and we just said like, we're not going to have a dedicated meeting this month. Like we're going to have members at Riverfire, and I think we noticed it. Like even though it's less than a quorum, so like it was sort of a. I don't know, maybe just being careful, but I think it's mostly 1, informational. If you want to go find the Affordable Housing Collaborative, like that's where they are. And 2, just in case people are around and happen to drop by the booth, we don't have just like a random unexpected quorum, like something like that. So my proposal would be, given that we have a bunch of these river fires going on, and this is going to be a lot to think about, that we make basically the probably it would be the July 24th one, but just notice one of these as our monthly meeting in case there's like a public person who wants to specifically contact us or anything. And if there's like an urgent topic, maybe it's even like we try to get 2 more people there and have a quick discussion.
Right.
But other than that, we can try to load up on whatever else for August.
So, do you want to choose the July 24th? Is that what you were?
That's what I would
Thinking, yeah.
propose because that's a little bit more in line timing wise with our
Right.
normal meeting. It sort of spaces it out by about a month from the last one. So,
The EDC, they take the summers off.
wow.
Yeah, they don't meet in the summer.
Both
We're
July
working
and
too hard,
August.
guys. This is crazy.
Yeah, they come back in September.
Wow. Yeah.
That sounds awfully nice.
Hey, we're spending our evenings at Riverfire. We're having a grand old
That
time.
is
Grand old
very
vacation.
true. That is very true.
All right.
I had a question I wanted to ask you. Hopefully it'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, go.
got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Josh and Dennis go to the first one.
Yes.
Dennis and Amy go to the next one.
Yes.
Amy and Peter go to the next
Oh.
one, and Peter and
Oh.
Josh go to the next one.
Well, that answers
So we
that.
can
There's the handoff.
pass everything off.
Yes.
Just by
How's
coincidence.
that?
That's honestly great. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I guess if it's your second meeting, you should really make sure that that you're passing it off to somebody. But
That's
although
right.
we can't use
Okay.
that trick on the first one, but whatever. We'll make sure you go home with the stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's good. So we'll hand that off. I guess in terms of the table and chairs, first thing, could you just double check what you have, Amy,
Yes.
and just I guess probably let Curtis know, and then if need be, then maybe Curtis, you can
reach out.
tell Peter, yeah, like we
Yeah.
need your help. Please enlist the church. But otherwise, that'll be sort of the plan A. And in terms of how best to get that to the actual event, like if you happen to be around,
I live
then
very
awesome.
close. It's no problem.
Okay. And also, like,
The
yeah,
24th. I
Uh-huh.
mean, why couldn't I do the 10th? Oh yeah, because I have company, so it's fine.
oh sure.
So it's fine. I'll be here.
Okay, you'll be around.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So if it's close, like I think it's probably not a huge deal, like whether you have a second and drop it or whether one of us just like walks by
Jumps
and
by,
grabs
picks
it.
it
Like I think unless at the table is just absolutely the most heavy, unwieldy thing ever. Like I think it would probably be fine either way.
Okay.
But we can just connect. So I'll make a note. So plan A is to connect with Amy for the table and chairs. Plan B will be Peter, and Amy will let Curtis know if we need to go to Plan B. Okay, very good. And so I think the only other thing we need to think about then is I think you had mentioned as well that you had like a heavier easel or something.
I definitely do.
Okay, you definitely do. Okay, cool. So I guess I'll add that to the list.
Yep, please.
Table, chairs, and easel. Yeah, and
Documents, poster, clips. Well, put the. I'll see if I can find clips.
if you have
Let me
clips,
just
then
look
great.
at
I at least have tape. I could bring that. And that wouldn't hurt anyway to tape stuff down to the table. So.
Yeah.
And
And if it's my table, it would be really nice. If I have a table, it would be really nice because then we could just leave it taped to the table.
Oh yeah.
Sure. And if it's like a, it's one. I was assuming one of those like plastic tables that it's not
Yeah.
a big deal. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to decree
not
that we
fine.
ruin your table.
It's
with
not
tape.
fine. It's not fine furniture.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Very
If
good.
it is, I just can't remember how big it is. How big
Okay.
It's up to.
Very good.
Okay.
Um,
yeah, but it's plastic.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to propose because there's a lot of stuff to remember. I'm going to propose, so we're planning to all have our parts done by the 7th. So get an email to Curtis by the 7th with your results, or even if it's oh shoot, I completely forgot to do that thing, I'm in trouble. Like just like, let's know where we all are for the 7th. That's why we're having it a couple days early, so we'll be able to figure this out. And I will plan to. I guess I'll probably have to draft this and send it through Curtis, I guess, but I can put together an email like either the day before or 2 days before, just making sure that we all have the plan. So like, you know, I will connect with you for the, you know, the table and chairs and what have you. I'll need to come to the town hall to pick up the pieces of paper. Pieces of paper will go home with Dennis. Like the stuff will go back to your house afterwards. Like all the little details.
Yeah.
I'll try to make sure that we're all good with. And then if there are any questions, if any piece isn't done for whatever reason, we can hash it out. So I guess maybe I'll plan to do that on the 8th, just so that we have 48 hours in case. So I'll make a note to do that. Okay.
I was thinking maybe it would be helpful if I make like a task list,
Sure.
you know, separate from the meeting minutes.
Sure.
That well, again, I'll send to
That would
Curtis,
be great.
and then
Yeah.
we'll just have the dates, you know, because we don't get the minutes back right away.
Yeah,
We
right,
don't see
right.
the minutes for another month, so.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess if that's something that you could also get through by the 7th, then that would be great.
I'll try to get it right out tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
So that
Awesome.
so that we know what we're doing, and we have a little time to do that. That's what I'm thinking.
That's perfect.
You know.
That's perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect. So then that way we will be sure there was no miscommunication. Everybody
Right.
check the email, make sure
Right.
that the thing in the task list makes sense.
Right.
That you're not working on something that isn't in there, or that you're not
Right.
surprised to see your name next
Yeah.
to some task.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, and that would be awesome. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
And then we'll check in again after the 7th. And of course, if we need to make adjustments, if you don't have the table you thought you had, if printing is a problem, like whatever, we'll adjust. We'll just shoot for 3 days before, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Can I ask one more thing? So when we talked about inclusionary versus comp plan and affordable versus low income, which I really think that information is important. Where was that going to come? Where do you think? Is that in a poster?
Right.
Just to clarify.
No, it's interesting. I know some of that stuff is stuff that we had talked about trying to put on the QR code, and I might try to do that anyway.
Yeah,
but,
right. I think it's good to have it on the QR code,
But yeah, in terms of if we want to have it
concrete
physical.
there, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
It could
Do you have thoughts?
no. Maybe just a piece of paper, maybe half sheet. I think because you talked about half sheet. Each of these two things, and that could be taped to the table as a piece of information.
Sure.
And so maybe that would fall under Brian. Will that fall under Brian? More or less?
It seems fair. If you feel like that's something you have a handle on and could make a little, like, just a quick blurb on, like, what is the difference, for example, like, capital A versus lower A, affordable, inclusionary versus comp permit.
Yeah, I think those two specifically, inclusionary versus comprehensive plan, because it's a critical thing for people to understand when they're getting mad at the town, right? For passing something.
Yeah.
And affordable does not mean low income, right?
Yeah,
Affordable versus low income.
Yeah.
So maybe it's done like as a Q&A sheet sort of thing,
Yeah.
When you're differentiating between affordable and low income, do you mean LMI versus like the federal subsidy? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the difference in the LMI, the difference in the median income. Like affordable does not mean the 40% of the median income.
Yeah, like
right?
you could have
It
120% AMI, and we're
means-
calling it affordable, but
Right.
it's like your income is above the median.
Right.
Like
So-
it's.
Yeah. We might have a thing. Would you qualify? Would your income qualify for
I like
affordable
that.
housing? How about that?
Yeah, I like that. Maybe as like another question, like for the prompt sheet, like would do you think your income would qualify for affordable housing or something like that?
Yeah, and that's where we have that great little graph that we had in the Did You Know,
Mm-hmm.
where where would you fall? Would you fall
Yeah.
within 100% of the median income, or 80%?
sure.
I think 80% is probably a nice
Yeah.
number to use.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Do you qualify for? Yeah.
Right.
I almost want to make that the poster, right? Almost want to make that the hook.
Yeah. You could put it on the poster. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thoughts?
No, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Build that in somehow.
I think the one thing that I'm wondering if it would make sense to have with it then is like the AMI tables, you
Yep.
know, like
Yeah.
because then you could actually have people check their work. Be like,
Yeah.
well, do you think you like, yeah, well, you probably have this vision of affordable housing as being like, you know, the lowest incomes.
Right.
But you might qualify. Like, what do you do? Like, you know, where do you fall on this chart?
Yeah.
Like, you might actually qualify. I think it could be an interesting little, you know, demystification for
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
It might be the place to clarify affordable versus low income.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I like that. Yeah, so I guess if you want to do it
Just
there,
be a part of it.
right? If we want to do it there, should we spare Brian the affordable thing?
Yeah, how about, Brian, if you cover inclusionary, the town's inclusionary versus the state comprehensive plan? You want to put a clarification of that, and I'll include somehow the affordable versus low income.
Okay.
Fair? Good?
And I think the only other thing would be if you want to have that that table printed of the AMIs, then
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
to send it. Because I think that's how I'm going to propose we like collect all this stuff. Like make sure that if there's something that needs to be printed, make sure it gets sent in.
It all gets to.
Yeah.
It all gets to Curtis.
And
Yeah.
and we'll adjust it again. If Curtis is not going to be the the printer collector, then we'll adjust. And whoever happens to be able to find a printer, we can get it there. But the documents need to start with Curtis anyway because they need to be collected in one place.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry to drop you into a
No,
ton of like back and forth right when you're getting right onto this.
I know,
It's
right?
usually not
Jump in.
quite this heavy.
I know.
So
Yeah, it does.
anyway. Now I know why Brian's running away.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this the next couple of weeks.
Got out just in time.
He had
Yeah.
a big smile on his face.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
There you go, new guy. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, very good. Yeah, I'm sure. Did he keep the EDC where they take the summer off?
Oh, yeah,
That
right,
would be.
right.
That
Keep that one.
Dude,
Yeah,
oh
there
my
you
gosh.
go.
See, he's a professional. He knows
dummy.
what he's doing. That's awesome. Okay, I think we've talked about this a lot. I think we have a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody feeling unsure, or are we good and we can slide on to the next piece?
I'm feeling good.
Okay, that sounds good. Awesome. And so I guess we'll wait to hear. Probably first thing is we'll wait to hear from you, Amy, about table and supply stuff, and also this
And
list,
our
so
task
that we
list.
make sure that we're on task.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so let's move along then to the old Tower Hill form-based code. So there's, a status update and discussion on next steps. So the piece that I'm looking to know, I don't know if this is known, like either if you happen to know Armand or if you happen
Yeah.
to know Curtis, about when that's likely to show up at the council.
Right now, it's projected for a council to have a public hearing in August.
August.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Gotcha.
they set the date?
Hopefully
Hold on.
that in the
Oh.
July
I got
planning
pushed.
board.
Oh, did it?
It's now
already.
September.
It's now
Oh,
September.
wow.
It's not
Okay.
September.
That was only the other day.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
And it's since gotten pushed already.
That's
So-
incredible. Oh my
It
gosh.
is now tentatively scheduled for September.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
It is supposed to go back to the planning board. We moved your meeting to the 21st, right? Yeah. The work
I
session-
forgot the date in July.
The work session
They
should be
kept
the
changing-
21st
They kept
now.
changing the date
Yeah, I
in
know.
July too.
I think it should be going to work session potentially for a formal recommendation on the 21st of July.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha,
And then
gotcha.
it could get pushed to the 28th, the next week for your regular
Right,
session.
that's right, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And yeah, just for general updates, minor touch-ups, inconsistency, making sure everything works with each other.
Gotcha.
Some typos here and there need to get
Mhm.
corrected, and then we had our attorney look at it, and he had a couple legal
Ah.
updates to it, I believe.
Gotcha.
We were
Yeah.
just talking about that before you guys came in. So
Oh, good.
we'll
Okay.
get that probably next week, probably. And
Awesome.
Get it kind of baked in.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yes, and then it'll go to the council and now as September for the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Only what, 20 years in the making?
Yeah, right.
A mere 20.
Honestly.
Curtis, can I just ask you what was the language around what will be brought back to the planning board work session on the 21st? Sort of the final,
It should be
The
the
final
actual
draft.
final.
the final draft.
Yeah,
Is
for
that,
the,
that's,
for the
that's
recommendation,
the
it has to
language.
be a final. Well, it shouldn't be a full, actual final draft.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's good to know. I think that's the main thing we just don't want to lose track of.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Where it's at.
yeah, where that's
And,
at.
and what representation we might need to have as it moves forward.
Yes.
Right, that's
Have
what
you been
we
following
talked
this whole
about.
thing, Dennis, or should we give you a little background?
A little bit. I read through some of what Brian sent me.
Oh, cool. Well,
But I was not at the public meetings, and
That's no, all good. I think you've already done a good job prepping. I think that's great. But I'm sure this is probably just repeating, but yeah, the hope is to take the Old Tower Hill Road and have a nice, vibrant form-based code along the whole area, and that would be lots of housing, probably through comp permit, but also lots of new commercial opportunities, and hopefully bringing in dollars from people from other towns and all the other fun stuff. So.
And it's a big change to go to mixed use.
For sure,
From-
because
from
it's currently
just commercial.
mandated 30% or less lot build out, and it's just parking lots and whatever. So yeah, so it would definitely be a big change. I know the idea is to build out the bike network, which I'm like, yes, this is great, just in time for me to move. But lots of good stuff in there. So we've been trying to pay attention to this because. Obviously, we're pushing for affordable housing, but the fact is the town needs everything, and whether it's market rate, whether it's affordable, all different form factors, and so you're going to get some deed restricted affordable just because of the size of the potential projects. It's going to go through comp permits and whatever else, but also just getting to build a large amount of stuff potentially, even if it takes 10, 20 plus years.
have they identified parcels that are suitable for?
It's a good
comprehensive
question.
development?
I know they've talked to owners of land along the corridor, and it seems like the majority of them are excited and view it as more of an opportunity than what are you coming in and ruining my business? It seems like it's actually something that people are interested in. But the thing that we don't know is what the timing would be like, even once it gets, we hope, approved and we go forward, because it's. Yeah,
It's a 10 to 15 year build out, because not everything's going to happen
Exactly.
overnight.
right. 'Cause-
Some of the concern is that our major out of state people are going to move in, but that's not the focus of the code. The code focus is to expand some of the commercial, but create residential.
Right.
The bulk of new construction will be geared towards residential.
Right. Yeah. And so it's they talked about a couple different ways of doing it, like making it sort of a mandatory or an optional. There was a lot of people speaking out in favor of making it a mandatory code.
It's not going to be mandatory.
Is it not?
Well, it's mandatory if you're going to do a new structure.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
That's the
New
idea.
structure is mandatory.
Right.
Existing structure, there's a little leeway to expand the size of the
Exactly.
existing structure, but once you go beyond that,
Then it has to comply.
Exactly.
then it has to comply. The big issue that was brought up, and they've been representing that in public, is that if your building burns down,
Yeah. Right.
you have to build with it a new code. That's not true.
Right.
If your building is destroyed in any way, you can build your new building the way your old building was.
Right.
But then if you decide, well, I really want to make the new building bigger,
Yes.
It's got
then
to
it triggers the compliance.
For sure.
And hopefully they're going to want to.
Absolutely.
They're
Well, if
gonna
you
want
understand,
this.
if you understand the economics, but the real problem is some of the property owners have owned the property for a long time. So they're comfortable with
Yeah.
the rental flow
Yeah.
Right.
that provides the lifestyle that they want.
Right.
And they're saying, why should I incur debt,
Right.
to expand, except that if you do the numbers,
Right. Doesn't take long to catch
doesn't
up.
take long to recoup the debt.
Yeah.
Right.
And then your income is maybe 3 times what it was.
Exactly, right. And they're also not compelled to do that.
No, they're not
Like, they
compelled
can
to
just
do
do
it.
what they're
Not
doing
compelled to
already,
do it.
as long as they
Right.
want.
But
Yeah.
the problem is that without it, you could get stuff in there now that you don't really want.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other important aspect is that this only applies to that territory.
Right.
It doesn't affect any of the other areas of the town.
Right.
Because I know there's a lot of concerns about the villages, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been my position. You want to maintain all the villages as they are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but that's a new village in a sense.
Yeah.
You want to create because one thing I don't like is asphalt.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're here. Awesome. All right, well, yeah, any other thoughts, or shall we just look forward to, yeah, no, go,
Clarifying
go.
question is, and
Yes.
maybe Curtis can answer, is this a zoning district or an overlay district?
It'll be a base zoning district.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the various districts will become base zoning districts. So yeah.
Good to know.
It's not just the commercial part. It extends into the residential around it.
Yeah.
So it melds in to it. And it goes down Main Street to some extent to try to maintain the facades of the buildings that would be the way they should be maintained.
Yeah.
Really nice plan.
Yeah, yeah. And I know if you're looking for like details, I think the last meeting was the 4/9 town council meeting. That was when the consultants who had worked on the form-based code came back up to the town council and made a presentation. And so if you wanted, you could hop on YouTube, check that out, and see like what some of the slides look like and the visualizations and things.
That's right.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I'd propose we move forward. We're at 8:45, and we've discussed our timeliness before this, so I feel
We'll
the
give you
pressure.
15 minutes grace because we started 15 minutes late. So
Right.
9:15 we're all walking out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no pressure though. Oh goodness. All right. Well, I don't think this will take too long, but anyway, we have a handful of staff updates. I don't know if you could run through those, Curtis. That would be great.
Lobster Fairgrounds, from what I've heard that you already know, not much has changed. They have their master plan approval, which I think you were aware of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
they have their master plan approval. It had, the conditions attached to it. They've come back. We've had some internal meetings about the conditions that were attached. We're trying to work through some of those options. That's pretty much where it stands at the moment. They're prepping the preliminary plan. You can't really,
Sure.
who knows when it's going to come in, but
Right.
they
Right.
seem like they're trying to expedite. So in the next month, 2 months, hopefully, they'll
Awesome.
have something to come back with.
Great.
And, it'll just depend on the engineering and how fast they can get plans drawn. Yeah, I think that's all we have for that item.
Okay. That sounds good. Any, or I guess, okay, I'll give a little background on this. Are you aware of the Lofts Fairgrounds? Yes. Okay, so you're good on that. Okay, so very good. Yes.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask because it's not relevant to this particular project, but Brian had mentioned there was another one that's coming this summer. I don't know if
That's the
stop
one
me if I
on,
can't talk about that, but
Where at?
The one
I'm
on,
good with it. Yeah. Are you? So I know we've talked about there's like I don't know which stage he was talking about. We've talked about, for example, like building permits recently having been given to the 2 new buildings in South County Commons, which is like 104 units. So maybe that's what he was talking about. I don't know if it's like a new earlier stage one, but
the other one is the one on Stony Fort. Isn't
Okay.
that something?
that one's kind of frozen in time, right? Or it's
Yeah.
been for a while, right?
I
Well,
Fieldstone
yeah.
Farms.
yeah. So.
I didn't know.
And it sounds like this probably isn't the one, or that probably would have rung the bell. I'm trying to think what else it could be, but
I think it's South County that
probably
Uh-huh.
yeah.
they might have to come back with a total new idea.
Oh,
Well, because
or do you mean the one that was going to be the
Well,
restaurant?
because
Or-
their analysis is it's still not conducive yet to put up the building because they don't have projective tenants to make it
Oh.
feasible.
Oh wow, I'd be surprised if they're struggling to find tenants, but
Well, for the
Interesting.
building they want there,
Yeah.
they want to get a major tenant, but they're not. They haven't been successful yet.
gotcha.
Oh.
Okay, interesting.
Huh.
All right,
And then
well,
the other one is the one that's on Main Street. That's the other one that was a little controversial, right? And they had to come back. Isn't that the, what is it?
No, I thought
6:30?
that one was approved. That's Fiore's,
They-
Fiore's.
way up Main Street.
I thought the-
Yeah, I thought that was
thought Brian-
approved.
Oh,
What's that?
I-
What's the project for?
that's the luxury.
Multiple units in there, there are several buildings.
Yeah.
Some are two family, some are four
Okay.
family.
Yeah.
That was approved though.
I thought
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
too.
that was approved.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought so.
thank you.
How many units was it total?
I don't,
I might have had them mixed up.
maybe
Yeah.
24.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
before my time.
24.
I thought that was approved too, but.
Well,
Yeah.
you're probably all right
I
then.
don't know.
I don't trust
That's
my
another
memory.
one that's lingered around for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
okay, sir. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I'm not. I'm getting ready to write.
Okay. Very good. All right. I guess we can slide forward then. What we can do the next update on surplus town properties.
So, I don't have such a big update on this. I don't
okay.
know if there is an update.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I've heard rumblings about needing to do RFP process for the
Okay.
site engineering work.
Yeah.
And this is just going off stuff I've heard coming in.
Oh, sure.
So-
Yeah, I think what we
Yeah.
had heard, like, and this is what I think led this to be on the agenda. We had heard, like, a couple meetings ago that basically the state had really encouraged the town to apply for money that would allow them to do
Oh, that's
some level of engineering on South Road School for the water, basically extending sewer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, is that still just like waiting? Is it pending? Have we heard anything?
I haven't heard anything, and I don't think
Yeah.
they had much to say.
Okay.
So I assume nothing's come back, or we got soft denied, and it
Okay.
hasn't been a big update.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't think we got
Okay.
any firm updates on that.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I didn't lose track of that. I like we sometimes it's we get these very interesting updates, and then if I'm not really paying attention, then it's like, wait, it's been like a year. I'm like, what happened with that
Yeah.
thing? So I'm trying to keep my eyes on it a little more. Yeah. Okay. So let's slide into the next piece. So this was also something I had asked Brian about, because I know that we recently had basically the deadline for the rental registry submissions, which, if as far as I know, if it didn't get extended, was end of March. And so I'm just curious if there is any data that this committee can see, or if it's still, for whatever reason, either it's embargoed or it's still being compiled, or it's just, maybe it got extended and I haven't heard about it.
Yeah. So besides the state database, which isn't really that accessible for
Yeah.
analysis purposes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have the local compiled yet in a way that would
Okay.
be easily accessible and usable.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think Jamie Gorman, our zoning official, building official, is the one that had to collect that. So I can reach out to him and just
That'd be great.
poke and see what is happening.
Yeah, awesome.
Um,
Okay.
But yeah, from what I've heard, it's not presentable in a presentable
Gotcha.
state or a readily
Gotcha.
legible state.
Gotcha.
But I can reach out to Jamie on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think, yeah, it's good to know. But I was, it sort of got me thinking, so these did you know cards that I was looking at for, to try to update for this meeting, there were a handful of changes. Most of them were pretty obvious, but one of them was referencing a cost, like an average cost of a 1-bedroom apartment in town. And I have no idea where they got that information. Like, I don't know if they just grabbed it off of like Redfin or something and was like, all right, like it's probably pretty good. So I was trying to update this and I'm like, well, I actually have no idea how I would update this. I think the best I could do is have like kind of a similar story. Like you can totally paint a picture of, here's the state minimum wage. Here, of all the towns we have data for, is the cost of renting a 2-bedroom apartment, and you can see that there's a gap there. You'd need basically 2 people working full-time minimum wage, with no kids, in order to be able to affordably rent an apartment in the cheapest town in the state, just to go make minimum wage somewhere. So it's like, how are you going to get employees to work the low-level jobs in this town? Like, how far are people going to be willing to travel in order to do that? And so you can still tell the same story, but they were doing it with an hourly wage and a median or average 1-bedroom rate here. And I was I'm like, I don't know how I can do that. But at some point, I'm sure we'll have data from this, and that's the sort of question you can answer with that. Like you could actually know, which would be pretty cool. And at least in theory, like I don't know if this has been discussed, but at least in theory, this information could get back to be in a future fact book. Like I know that Brian had provided some information from that in the past, but I know there are maybe like a third of the towns or something that don't have information on like the median rental prices, and South Kingstown's one of them. So it'd be good to have that on in their database as well. Okay. Well, the only other thing we had, and please stop me if you guys have comments on that, but the only other thing we had was to introduce ourselves to our new staff member. So we have a new committee member and a new staff member. So I guess we sort of did a little bit of the staff member thing at the beginning, but but I don't know if there's anything else really from either of you guys, if you've like, want to say hello, want to say a little bit about what you've done. Like I got, some background on you too, Dennis, but like it could be a good time to, to introduce ourselves too, like for those of you who might not know us as well. Yeah.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah. So I guess I don't know, generic introduction. So Curtis Dufour. I'm from North Carolina originally, so if you're a bit of an accent.
Where in North Carolina?
Like Raleigh. I was from Garner, if you're local enough to know, but
yeah.
from Raleigh.
Yeah.
So yeah, went to Duke. I got into planning through the school of government down there at UNC.
You went to Duke and UNC. That's
Well, I guess
how does that work?
I was a fellow at UNC, but yeah.
Wow.
So did my dad. He went to both.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh my
He went
gosh.
to Duke for undergraduate, so he's a Duke.
Oh, there it is.
Duke fan.
Yeah, I did undergrad at Duke, and then I did a fellowship at UNC for that. But I did that, and that touched on planning, and I did like comp plans down there and like small area planning. Came up here, got my master's at MIT. It's fun. Landed in Pawtucket, so I did a lot of affordable stuff in Pawtucket. We have a lot of, we had a lot of big projects going up there. So did a few comp permits up there. That was pretty clean. Got them through really easy. So I don't know what the vibes are here. I'll learn. I'm sure, but have some decent experience in affordable housing up there. So
that's great.
I've worked with like Jacob Vasalian and did a comp permit with him, and he's doing good stuff too. So we talked about the laws he's pushing. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
Great.
Awesome.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Sweet. I don't know. Maybe we can rotate this way.
Your former boss is Jay Pizzullo, who I know. He was my boss's boss.
Yeah, weren't you at League?
Yeah. Oh, did I?
I think I saw you. You probably talked to Grace.
I don't remember seeing you. I believe you.
I think you were talking to Grace and Jason or something.
Oh, Grace
I was
Brown.
just in the background, not being social. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Small world. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
Dennis, I work for the town of Coventry as the housing planner. I'm actually paid through the Executive Office of Housing through a grant. I've been there for a year and a half. It expires.
Aren't you joining Penrose now?
No, I'm not.
As another housing fellow.
Oh, that's Toby Arman. Yeah, he's
okay.
my counterpart in Cranston.
Okay.
So come October, I'll be a full-time senior planner there. We have a lot of comp permits in Coventry, like on a monthly basis.
Nice.
Which is kind of unusual for towns to have that much development. We have a lot of affordable vacant land there. And before that, I actually worked here for the town. I worked for Luke Murray upstairs, and then for a brief time, then I went downstairs and I worked for Nicole Romaine when she was the clerk, and worked with Emily.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Great.
And also went to URI, got
Nice.
an MPA there.
Yeah, I think you're one of the few people who live in South Kingston and commutes to Coventry rather than...
Yeah, the other way. Wow. Yeah, no, it's awesome though. I was saying to Dennis too, I'm like, I feel like we usually have a mix on the committee of people who really have no background in housing, but are just like, we acknowledge it's a problem and want to do something. And then there are people who actually have worked in housing or maybe still work in housing. And I love, because I am the bucket of, I just want to do something. I don't have any particular experience, but like I love having people who actually work in it, because it's you sort of get the naive perspective, but also people who know really like how it's done in practice. And so I think it's a good mix. So it's good. I don't know. I guess maybe for us, should we give a quick introduction so that everybody knows us? I don't know. You want to go first, Peter?
Sure.
Just
Pete
sort of rotate.
Swain, I think I've been on for like 2 years. I had a career in camping. I was a resident camp administrator.
Right.
35 years, that's what I did. Married, 2 kids. So, live in town, of course.
Yes. You want to go for it, Brian?
Oh, okay. Brian Smith. I think I've been on this committee now for a year,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
maybe less than a year.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was previously I was on the EDC for 3 years, for 9 years rather. We're the ones that started up this whole Tower Hill Road project.
Yes.
Because the EDC interacts very well with the local businesses, and concern has been housing for their lower paid employees, and the bigger one being the hospital, where like the housekeeping folks are coming in from Central Falls.
Right.
You know, they're carpooling because there's no way they're going to find. And even the clinical people, like nurses, they don't live around here. And we have people who are commuting from Massachusetts and Connecticut. Even doctors. Even doctors are coming from nearby Connecticut and commuting because they can't find anything affordable around here. So that so we've been working with the local businesses and doing the research on multi-use in the commercial areas. So that's now it's sitting on the planning board's desk to
Move that forward.
doing that. So previously, we actually lived in the town of Richmond, which has a lot more volunteer positions because they have a small paid government. So I was on the planning board in Richmond. I was on the school committee. I was on the finance board and recreation committee. And
You were the town.
Yeah.
and on and on and on, because they're always looking for help, because they don't want to pay anybody, because they don't have, they have 85% of their budget goes to the school.
Wow.
85%. We get 15% to run municipal, which now includes police department,
Wow.
Jeez.
which is pretty expensive too. So, and public works and all that. So, anyways.
Awesome.
I'm Amy Crawford. I raised my family in North Kingstown for 30 years and moved here about 6 years ago. And pretty soon afterwards got involved here on the affordable housing. My career was in nursing. And I joined it as just a way of doing something. And I have learned so much. I was too busy raising kids to really be involved in local government, and have grown such a respect for what happens at this level. So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And I'm Josh Port. As stated, I do not have a background in housing. I was a physics and French undergrad, then went off and worked at a software company for a few years, and now I'm doing oceanography. So I've been bouncing all over the place. But yeah, this is year 5, so that's why I'm, getting ready to decamp, is because, in theory, I should be done in December, really. I guess defense is supposed to be October, so we're getting there. But yeah, no, I think I joined probably around the time you joined, Amy, like what, 3.5 years ago, something like that. And and it was just I had showed up at a meeting, and it was 4 out of 7 like for the committee, so there were 3 empty chairs. I showed up to the one meeting, and I just sort of made my comments. I was like, hi, like, nice to meet you, just kind of paid attention. And I decided I'd show up again, and the meeting was canceled last minute because they didn't have a quorum.
No quorum.
There was one person who was sick, and the whole thing ended. And I'm like, well, like, I don't necessarily, and I'm like, I don't necessarily have any experience, but I'm like, I got to be better than an empty chair, right?
Way better.
So I figured, we'll just send in an application, see how it goes. And I agree, I've learned a ton. I think I definitely gained that same respect for, like, a lot of times if you're an individual and you want to be able to do something, like, local government is pretty much the best way that you can get in there. So I hope to, wherever I end up, and I don't know exactly where it'll be, but I hope to still continue to participate some way. So should be good.
We'll need to get you like a plaque or something.
There we go.
Take that with you.
Yes.
Forever.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Right. Like the little memento.
Okay, my
yeah,
turn. All
absolutely.
right. Okay. Obviously, I'm a Monaco. I'm from the planning board. I'm relatively newcomer to South Kingston. I've been on the planning board about a year now, but I've had experience both at the local level, the state level, the federal level. I retired from family court as a magistrate a few years ago. I retired as a colonel from the Air Force.
Wow.
I had a couple of positions with the state government. The big one was Big River Reservoir, which unfortunately did not get built. And now South County is suffering the result of not going forward with that, even though my recommendation was to build it, forget what the Corps of Engineers said, they were wrong, but the politics decided that they didn't want to do it. But like I say, I've started my career with the federal government, and I guess I'll end my career with the local government, even though throughout I went back and forth.
Awesome.
And I enjoy doing this kind of stuff because it keeps me occupied, and, you know.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you. It's great. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like Joe just sort of was radio silent. I had no idea what was going on. And it's oh yeah, he's off the planning board too.
We had
Yeah.
Joe retired.
Yeah.
I guess a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And no one said anything.
Yeah.
And he was on. He was the liaison.
Mhm.
And then the last meeting that was on the agenda, and I'm somewhat familiar with affordable housing. Because when we had the fairgrounds application, I had read some of the case law on what you really need to reject the project. And it was very clear that we don't like it, but that's not the standard.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you better be very specific. And I asked the applicant if they could reduce the size of their project. They didn't want to reduce it to the number I thought was a better number, but they did compromise
Right.
their number. And at that point, either we approve the agreed number, or if we denied it and they took an appeal, they would get the original.
Absolutely.
Right.
The original application.
Absolutely.
And the cases that I had read, it wasn't too difficult a burden for that to establish. But
Right.
you know, and a lot of it is because people don't really understand what's involved. You know, and everyone has their own feeling about what should be done, but. You know, this when you get the numbers about what's affordable income,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, low income is really Section 8 type housing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Affordable is, if I read the number correctly, about $80,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And even at
Yeah,
$80,000,
that's not.
it's not enough to
Right.
pay the rents for some of the places down here.
Yeah.
No.
I was an economics major too, so I kind of
Yeah.
I kind of can understand these numbers a lot easier. And just like I just read an interesting article about minimum wage. Every time they raised the minimum wage, the people whose wages went up had less money to spend
Oof.
because minimum wage went up, all the prices went up, and the increase did not generate. You know, like in California, they made fast food workers $20 an hour. Well, I don't know the number, how many they lost. Not only did they lose employees, but people that were working 40 hours now work 30 hours. So, you know, yeah, the ideas are great, but no one looks at the consequences, you know, and that's been always my big push is that what will be the eventual outcome of what you want to do, you know? Let's look down the road 5 or 10 years and see where it's going to end up. The other one I read was about Social Security. They proposed years ago to have you put $1,000 into an IRA. Take $1,000 of your Social Security contributions, put in an IRA. If you started when your age, by the time you retired, you'd have like $500,000 in that account. And putting just a minimum amount, but with compounding.
Sure, sure.
Are you gonna have $500,000 to draw out of your Social Security when you retire?
What
not,
Social
not if
Security?
they don't put a massive infusion into it.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Still there, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
We might be affected by it, even though we're up there in age. They're
Right.
talking about the 22% cut in the benefit.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's the same with the state pension. They didn't put the money in when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, you know, how long would the bank let you not pay your mortgage?
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when you don't get into the whole having to pay the piper thing. It's nice when it's
Wow.
just sort of like well managed from the start, but it seems like that's it's a high bar. It's a higher bar than it should be.
Yeah,
It seems
yeah.
like
Well,
sometimes.
unfortunately, all of the right decisions are not always the decisions that are made because
Yeah.
for whatever reason they decide it's not the right decision. But you know, like I say, the Big River Reservoir I thought was a real fiasco when they didn't go through with it. 'Cause, I knew what the problems were. I understand about the aquifers and everything. They do replenish, but I said to someone, even like getting with septic systems, okay, that piece of property was 100 acres, and there was one farmhouse on it. Now that's a development, and there are maybe only 50 houses. But that took 50 years before for all those pollutants to work their way down.
Sure,
It's
sure.
in 1 year now.
Yeah, it feels like at least be willing to take a data-based approach, right? Like I think going off of the vibes of it all is not really going to get you somewhere. Like if you study it, it seems like it can work. Great. If not, don't try to do magical thinking.
Well, that
Yeah.
was nice to get to. Nice to get to know everybody a little
No,
bit.
absolutely.
That's nice.
All right, I took
Yep.
us to 9:15.
Yeah, I got one more quick thing to bring up. We got a new discussion item, so I just got one quick thing.
I missed that one.
No, it's okay. There's nothing listed there. I just this is usually if there's something to drop on a future agenda or just something else that needs to quickly get brought up, which I'll try to do it here. But so I did reach out and connected with the chair of the EDC. Which we discussed last
thank
time.
you. Yeah,
So
for that
yeah, so
follow-up.
he was very very nice, like forthcoming with information as well. So he had shared basically results of the survey for South County Hospital. I did not get that in time to try to share out formally, and put it in the packet and everything, but I will make a note to try to do that for August. But the sort of the high level is that it says about what you would expect, which is that there are a lot of people, I want to say it was around 60% of the people surveyed, would have interest in living in South Kingstown if possible, but they can't for whatever reason, and the most common reason is it's just too expensive. It's not necessarily just available inventory, it's the fact that even if there's stuff up there, they just can't pay it. So yeah, I'll make sure that gets into the next packet so that we can all see it. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. The only other thing I wanted to say is they basically offered that if we wanted to, I brought up they could come to River Fire and hang out with us. I said, we could do a joint meeting, and I suggested potentially when the results come out for their other responses for the survey. I know they were going to send it out to the town, to the university, etc. And what they had suggested is, we could have one or two of them come to our meeting, or we could have somebody go to their meeting. It seems like a good place to start. I'm like, I'll take you up on that. So their meeting is going to be on the 1st. I cannot go to that meeting because I have exactly at the starting time a meeting with my graduate advisor who's traveling and he's got the classic 14-hour time difference right now, so it's we just have to meet each other at the very edge of the day. And anyway, but it's the 1st of July at, I think it's a 6 p.m. start. So if there's one of us who would be interested in going, then that would be great. My one thought, like just sort of the general idea behind reaching out anyway and trying to collaborate, like it's sort of a few things. One, I just think if they have any housing related, like either information or initiatives or interests, like just any sort of topics, basically, if we can sort of sync up messaging with them and start sort of pushing in the same direction, then I think it's going to be more and more likely for the council and others in the town to take notice. I think that economic messages tend to be really strong. Like it's the one thing that sort of really transcends politics, is that, you know, if it's going to be a good deal for us, like let's do it. So if they're pushing for something, it's probably something that's even easier for us to put weight behind, and that might have some public buy-in. So, you know, that was sort of the basic thought. But you know, there are lots of little avenues. Like I remember in the past, like they put out a letter to, like basically about the RIPTA cuts that we're going through, and because they have the view of like, you know, people need to get to their place of work on these buses, and you're cutting this, and this is going to be like a drain on the town's economy. And you can make the same argument for affordable housing, where it's like people, first of all, you're less likely to own a car, you want to be able to connect to your job, but it's also just like this is a lifeline for, you know, people who are making the least. This is how they connect to things. This is how I connect to things, right? So it's a lot of the things that are important economically are also important for individuals looking for housing. It's like a very connected problem. So I think that would be my thought for, you know, whoever wants to join. Just sort of generally just make the point that we tend to be in alignment about a lot of things. We're interested in how they think about things, how they frame things, what they've heard, because it's also something that might inform our messaging. And other than that, just be there to listen and keep the pulse on what they're sort of paying attention to. And of course, if they'd be interested in joining any of our meetings, if they want to come hang out with us at Riverfire and talk to some people about like why housing also matters from their perspective, like awesome, like all the better. But I think just as like sort of opening that avenue seems like a decent first step.
Mm-hmm.
They have information on housing costs in South Kingston.
Yeah. Like as in, do you mean beyond this survey, just like things that they could share?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, because that was part of what drove Tower Hill to
oh sure,
expansion.
yeah, okay,
So they're meeting on the 1st?
yes, that's what they said.
I cannot go that week.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday, I think.
Close to the 4th, isn't it? Like a holiday
That's a-
week.
well,
Yeah,
it's a
right.
busy-
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure I can. I don't think I can be there either.
yeah.
You said it starts at 6.
Yep, that's what I was told.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can.
Ah. Yeah, I'm just confirming. I'm trying to pull up their website. Upcoming town meeting schedule. Yeah, anyway, if we can't find somebody to join this meeting, I could also invite them to come to our next one.
What is the role of the person who joins the EDC? Is it just to observe and report back?
Basically, yeah, and just like so what I'm trying to get at is just to express to them like we have a lot in common in terms of the things that we're noticing about the town. Like, you know, you can come at affordable housing as we need people to work in town businesses, like we want people to be able to live here for that reason, or you could just say like generally like this is how the town doesn't die out. This is how you keep kids in schools. This is how you like make anybody who for whatever reason wants to live here be able to live here. Like there's just a lot of those overlaps. And so that's why we're trying to connect with them. Because if you can have a like an economically and like a data-based argument for why this is actually really essential for the town, then that's something that we can easily latch onto and try to amplify. Like that's something that we could, for example, share at the table. Like if they have information about, as you're saying, like, you know, this is what people are actually paying for housing in town. You know, and this is why we really need to have more cheaper options for people, because if people even at the hospital are struggling to find jobs or find housing close to their jobs, like what is everyone else going to do, right? So I think, yeah, just trying to I guess keep your ear to the ground about what they're talking about and express that sort of kindred perspective on things and try to see what information you can get from them, offer to have them come join whatever they'd like to in terms of our meetings or whatever else. I understand if you're like, this is meeting one, you don't need to jump into that and have like a big task. You're welcome to show up if you'd like. But yeah, it's also fine. Like they basically said, if you want to show up at our meeting, that's great. If not, we can have their chair or another member named Randy was willing to also show up at one of our meetings. So I could invite them to come by, for example, in August, or just tell them that we'll be at River Fire and just come say hi. So shall we do that? And I don't want to put too much on you right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we kind of have to, unless you would like to do that, and I did, I can put it on the task list with the mission sort of that you just spoke, if you would like to do that. None of the rest of us are able to do it though, so we'd have to,
it's
just
no
put it
pressure.
off, that's all.
If
Right.
you
I don't know how
really-
well I'd be able to advocate for this committee because I've only just started.
It's
but-
totally
feels like
fair.
it
I'm
feels like a
willing to
lot
do
to
it
put
if
on
you-
you.
Yeah.
I assume they'll have an August meeting, maybe.
They should continue to have meetings, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll be able to connect more in the future. It's just what they offered, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I can get back to them
And
and
even
tell
if we
them
had two
that.
people to come, that would be
Yeah.
nice. So,
Yeah.
not another.
Have we worked with the HDC at all, too, or?
I do not
Really?
believe so. I think so we've connected with. It's basically just been now connecting with the EDC. I know I'm personally in contact with one of the bike and pedestrian advocacy committee chair. And other than that, it's just been showing up at town council and planning board meetings. I don't know if we've had any other contacts. Am I forgetting anything? No? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, but I know we've discussed in the past, I know, I think Sue had showed up in the past at, I forget which other boards meeting, it may have even been the EDC in the past, but we've discussed trying to get out and put feelers into other boards a little bit more to just see what people are talking about and see if there's stuff that we can collaborate on. So I would say if it's public meetings and you have interest, by all means, stop by and see what you can figure out. But yeah, I know we got a lot going on this month too. So it's like, don't feel the need to be like too seizing of initiative. It's, we got a lot going on. Okay. So I think that was the only other thing I had to bring up. Did anybody have any other last new topics? I'm just going to confirm I didn't have anything written down here. Oh, I had one small thing, but everyone else is good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The one other small thing I had, I think this might be one for you, Curtis. There are 2 links at the bottom of our website that are dead, and I don't know how to update the website.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's something you could check on, just like who at the town can do that for us.
Maybe IT, probably.
Yeah, it sounds right. It sounds like an IT sort of
Our IT
question.
is pretty strict, so I assume they keep control over it.
That makes sense. So there are basically 2 links down at the bottom. There are 4 links in a section at the bottom about financial literacy, and 2 of them are dead. And I think they're dead because, I actually tried to find replacements. I don't think it's just a bad link. I think the programs that they're referring to do not exist anymore. So I think they can just be removed. But it also, especially if you're already contacting them, it would be awesome if you could also double check the concept of linking out to that informational page,
Yeah, I'll just
if they'd be willing to do that.
Do it at the same time. I'll throw in a ticket or something.
That would be perfect. Yeah, and then at least it'll give us a little bit more to work with for maybe a more permanent home for the QR code stuff. But yeah, that was all else I had. I know we're 5 minutes past when you all said you would walk out.
That's how much we like you.
I appreciate it. Do we have a motion to adjourn in a second?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are adjourned
All right,
at
very good.
9:22. Thank you, everybody.
Terrific.
22.
Yes.
We